I like to cook, and I love to eat. Last year, for my QED, I did Italian cuisine. I learned a lot about the stress and the amount of work that chefs have to do even before the restaurant opens. I have even gone to eat at some of the best restaurants in the world, and I know they are the best because they have Michelin stars. Michelin stars are a form of rating restaurants on how good they are. Today, I'm going to tell you about this powerful rating system that has a big influence in the world of restaurants. The highest level you can achieve of Michelin stars is 3. There are just over 100 3-star Michelin restaurants in the world. If you think you're a great chef, you need to be 100 times better to even have 1 star. Some of you might have heard of Michelin stars, but don't know where the idea came from. It actually comes from the French tire company, Michelin. 2 brothers, Edouard and André Michelin, ran a factory that made rubber in Clermont-Ferrand, a small city south of Paris. One day, someone came into the factory who needed to repair his air-filled bicycle tire. The tire was glued to the rim, so it took over 3 hours to repair. Then, when Edouard took the bicycle on a test ride, the tire failed after just a few hundred meters. After that, the brothers decided to try to create a better air-filled tire that did not require glue. Their tire company was created in 1889, and it is still one of the biggest in the world. By 1900, France had around 3,000 cars. The brothers knew they'd sell more tires if more people bought more cars. So they created a guidebook to make people want to drive around France. In 1900, the first edition of the Red Guidebook was given away for free. It contained maps, instructions for repairing and changing tires, and lists of hotels, and restaurants, and gas stations, and car mechanics. Between 1904 and 1911, Michelin created guidebooks for Italy, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, the British Isles, and countries in North Africa. Then in 1920, André began charging 750 francs for each copy. This was about $2.15 at the time. In 1926, Michelin started awarding high-end restaurants with 1 star. And in 1931, they created the system of 0, 1, 2, and 3 stars. In World War II, the Allied forces actually used the Michelin guidebooks because they had the most updated maps of France. In the 2000s, Michelin finally created guides that crossed oceans and covered Tokyo, Hong Kong, Macau, and the US, starting in New York. Other US cities that have or did have guides are Chicago, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. I know a chef in Las Vegas who won a Michelin star in 2008. His name is Steve Benjamin. Steve started his career as a chef in Paris in 1993. He received his first Michelin star there in 1996 and then began working for the famous chef Joël Robuchon. In 2003, Steve was made the head chef of Joël's L'Atelier restaurant in Las Vegas. He was given a French award for being one of the top 50 French chefs in America. In 2008, he got a Michelin star for the 2nd time. But then, Michelin stopped rating Las Vegas because that guidebook wasn't making enough money. So Steve doesn't technically have his star anymore, even though he didn't lose it. I had the chance to ask Steve some questions about getting a star. He told me that restaurants never know when Michelin inspectors are there or even who they are. The inspectors judge the service, the kitchen, the time between ordering and being served, and much more. Once L'Atelier got their star, they tried to keep everything the way the Michelin inspectors liked it. They stayed the exact same, but there was a lot more pressure and stress because they didn't want to lose that star. The harder thing, Steve said, was not getting a star, but keeping it. One of the reasons, and maybe is the best reason, for getting a Michelin star is for advertisement. What I mean is, when a restaurant gets Michelin stars, the restaurant gets recognized by a lot more people than it did before. Steve said that once a restaurant gets even 1 star, the reputation goes through the roof, and they are completely booked every single night. This is why Michelin inspectors are so powerful. There are only about 100 worldwide, and they anonymously visit restaurants all over the world. They are good at deceiving the restaurants by coming in groups of 4 or 5, but mostly come as 1 or 2. To become an inspector, you have to have a background in hotels, restaurants. You can be a chef, a sommelier, a hotel manager, or a maître d'hôtel. To actually become an inspector, you have to pass a test to prove your palate. Only a select few make it past that stage. Then, you go on a 6-month apprenticeship with an inspector. There are other big ranking organizations in the world of cuisine. The Forbes Travel Guide, the American Automobile Association, and Zagat. Zagat uses a 30-point rating scale. Forbes uses 5 stars, and AAA uses 5 diamonds. Since the rise of social media, regular people can rate restaurants too. Yelp is one well-known website where people post reviews and rate restaurants. That's a great idea because everyone is allowed to form an opinion, but people have tried to cheat the system. For example, restaurant employees can be forced by their bosses to write good reviews. So, Michelin is the standard. But if you need a quick review of a neighborhood restaurant, Michelin cannot help you. For that, use Yelp or Zagat. Michelin is the toughest critic around. I aspire to become a chef myself and hopefully will receive 3 stars when I'm older. If I ever do, this could possibly be the view of my restaurant. And this might be who you'll see eating there. Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Ms. Bagish?
Great topic. Well done. Are there any Michelin star restaurants here in Santa Barbara or nearby?
In Santa Barbara, there are none because inspectors generally come to only a select few cities like Chicago, New York, San Francisco, and they left LA and Las Vegas, so now they don't even come to those cities anymore, so they don't rate any restaurants with Michelin stars. So in Santa Barbara, the inspectors have never come, so there haven't been no restaurants have been awarded any Michelin stars. Yes, Mr. Glenn?
Well done, Luca. If they come to inspect a restaurant, do they give feedback as to things you can improve or ways so that you can, if you didn't get a star, do they give any feedback to the restaurants as to how they could change their business or their operations to be able to achieve a star?
The restaurants can actually ask for their summary on the restaurant to see if there's something that they can do better. But they don't give it, but you can ask to see it.
Okay.
Yes, Graham?
How do the Michelin inspectors know which restaurants to go to and which restaurants not to go to?
Well, normally they go to restaurants, they generally go to restaurants that have a good chef. So if there is a chef that has gotten a Michelin star in the past, they always go to their new restaurants. But also if a restaurant can actually ask to be inspected by a Michelin inspector, so that's another way. Yes, Ms. Green?
Of all the restaurants that you've gone to that are fine, which was your favorite and why?
There have been many restaurants that I've gone to, and I really cannot choose, but L'Hôtelier, the one that Steve Benjamin is the head of, I really adore and love that one very much.
We can take one more question.
Sierra?
What city has the most Michelin stars?
Tokyo has the most Michelin stars and has the most 3-star Michelin restaurants.
Thank you, Luca.